To the June 24th Board of Trustees meeting. At this time, I will call the meeting to order. And I will ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
All right, motion made by Mr. Guthrie. Do I have a second? Seconded by Ms. Bates. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, I will call for the vote. Okay, and the motion carries 6 in favor and 1 absent. All right, next on our agenda, we have public comments on agenda items, and we have none this evening. So we will move into the board chair's report, which is very brief. I would just like to remind you board members that we do have our board advance scheduled for August 9th. That is the day prior to our SCSBA law conference. And at this time, I do not have definite information regarding the time and location, but we will be getting that to you shortly. And I will also ask that if you have certain items you would like to have or see on the agenda for that, you can reach out to me and let me know. So I will be working with Dr. Robbins to plan that agenda. Any questions? Yes. Okay, great, thank you. So now we will move into our board committee reports. And we will start out with our policy committee and Mrs. Bates.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. We have several policies that are going to be up for first reading today. But before I get started on that, I just wanted to address, we do have a cell phone policy that we are going to be passing for first reading potentially today. However, I do know there's the pending proviso. The state board is being tasked with possibly developing a model policy that the local districts will need to adopt. So our goal is to move forward with our policy. However, if the State Department determines something different, we might have to shift and change things to make sure that we're in compliance with the State Department. So as of now, right, we're going to move forward with our cell phone policy. I just want Mr. Doherty, if there's anything else you feel like you need to add.
No, this was brought up at SCASA by the state superintendent, just talked about this. It's not passed yet, but I know that the delegation is working on something like this, putting this proviso in. So we want to make sure we're very clear that our policy that we've been working on could change depending on what this proviso says. So thank you for bringing that to our attention.
No, I appreciate you. And so the policies we have for first reading today are our JICA, the rule, student dress, JICJ, possession, use of personal electronic devices or district-owned devices. That was previously use of paging devices and cell phones in school. We have JICJR, possession, use of personal electronic devices or district-owned devices. That's the rule to accompany the previous policy. KA, school parent community relations, previously school parent community relations goals, priority objectives. KHC, distribution, posting of promotional materials. What is the sick leave? It's not labeled here, just a second. Okay, do we not, it's not lettered yet. Okay, so we do have a sick leave bank policy that's new. Letters to be assigned. BCB, board member conflict of interest. EBCB, safety drills. ECAC, vandalism. EFE, competitive food sales and vending machines. GBH, staff participation in the community, previously staff participation in community activities. JCI, professional staff development. GCQC/GCQD, resignation of instructional staff / administrative staff. IHAA, comprehensive literacy education. IKA-R, grading assessment systems, and IKE, promotion, retention, and acceleration of students. So that was a lot, but Madam Chair, I turn it over to you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Bates. Coming out of committee, we do not need a second, so do we have any discussion? Okay, hearing none, we will call for the vote. Okay, and the motion carries 6 in favor and 1 absent. Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Bates. Now we will move on to our finance report. Do you have anything for us this evening out of Finance Committee, Mr. Guthrie?
Not really. I guess we have our budget in. We're still waiting on the state's budget. So I don't know, if Tina, do you have anything to add, or pretty much that's it? Or okay, perfect.
Okay, sounds good. That is perfect. So facilities report. Mr. Farnsworth, do you have anything for us this evening?
I do not. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so that completes our committee reports, and so now we will turn it over to our lovely fill-in superintendent again. We appreciate you stepping up and helping us out again, Mr. Daugherty. Welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Wimberly and board. This evening I have a couple things just to share with the board. One is in reference to the referendum that was passed. We're in the process of hiring a construction manager. Dr. Robbins is working with our group to put together Gantt charts or project timelines. We're hoping to have those for August. And then our current projects that you see that are being done right now are coming out of our 8% dollars, and then also some of ESSER. So also Dr. Robbins is putting together a CART, which is a Citizens Advisory Review Team, and that will be public. And then those meetings are to be determined at a later time. But again, he's looking to put that together again for transparency, and we're putting those projects and all of the timelines together. Right now, we have the Sand Hill Elementary Wing Edition. That is, right now, we're going through the RFP process and design on that. That is something that is needed to be done with the population that we have going out there. So that's underway. And then there's many RFPs sent out on our safety items, and I'll cover a little bit of that with safety.
Mr. Dort, I apologize. Quickly on the construction manager, do you know, is that going to be someone that we hire in the district, or is that just an external?
Yeah, that right now, Dr. Robbins is looking at probably hiring somebody possibly from the outside to help with all the projects with Mr. Souls and his team, so that we'll be working congruently together with that. So I think he's looking at that. I know more information will come with that, but I know he's looking to be able to do that with a $200 million, making sure to oversee those projects. I hope that makes sense.
So it's somebody that we will employ for the duration of the all of our projects, but it'll only be for that duration.
That is correct. That is correct. During that.
Temporary position.
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions regarding the referendum update? Good question. Thank you. Moving on for safety, so I'm very happy to report all of our buildings were 100% compliant with all safety drills this year. A big thank you to Jason Forsyth. He's our assistant director back there for safety and security, so thank you. He helps monitor that. And so what that entails is every building has to do a fire drill, 5 lockdown drills, 1 tornado drill, and 1 earthquake drill. And so Mr. Forsyth oversees that, and our building principals did an excellent job of making sure they're compliant. So I want to report that. Also, Raptor training on emergency reunification. They'll be in July with district administration and principals. So reunification drills, just in case we have to do something. If it's an active shooter and we have to do reunification with buses. The one year we had a fire at Somerville High School. We had to do reunification, and so this will help us become more unified in our response, and so we're looking forward to using that training. That's going to take place in July. Raptor visitor management, and what that is, it's going to perform in every building. We're going to be able to perform visitor and volunteer background checks with this program. It'll serve as a process for student late arrival check-ins as well. And then also it'll account for all visitors in the event of an emergency situation. So any visitor that checked in the building will know who's been in the building. So we're real excited about doing that. Mr. Giant, Mr. Forsythe will be working with our administrators with that. And then in January coming up, there's going to be Raptor Hall Pass. Many of our principals already use this, especially at the secondary level at our high schools. And so the Hall Pass program with other products serves to further enhance our ability to count for the whereabouts where everybody is in our buildings. So when kids go out of classrooms, they'll have that Hall Pass. And so Raptor management can do that. So this is a program that can do all these functions. So we're real excited about that. Also, as far as safety, we're in the process of adding secure front lobby vestibules at Joe Pye Elementary School, Fort Dorchester Elementary School, Austin Bailey Elementary School, and then Fort Dorchester High School. I think those were identified, with Mr. Farnsworth, in the facilities. And so we're in the process of that. New radio communication infrastructure. I know we put some RFPs on that, but what that is going to be allow us to do if all our building administrators will have a radio and they can change channels to the district, and the district administration can have radios and can go to school channels. Also with our buses, which is a nice feature. If we have a bus number 15 needs to come back, they can get to the bus channel, then also radio back for buses. So this will be a great way for us all to stay communicated. So, bless you. And then the addition of 3M protective film to exterior school windows. Those last three there are part of the referendum with that money, and so we're really trying to get that out the gate quick. So those three items there. And so that is all I have to report on those two items. Is there any questions that I can answer?
I have a question, but I don't expect an answer right now, just to notate. I was curious if we are looking to do a joint training again, like we did last year, and maybe when we can look for that.
I think what Dr. Robbins was looking to do is a tabletop exercise this year with reunification. I'm not sure about the tabletop or for the dual purpose of that meeting with our law enforcement, how we did that with the active shooter training. So I think the big thing that we'll be working is the reunification piece and where those reunification sites are going to be. So it's a certain school, and those will be locations that we'll have to determine later. But I think the big piece is that reunification piece and what that's going to look like. So.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Great information. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Yes, at this time, we'll have Ms. Meunier come up and talk about the finance report. So thank you, Ms. Meunier.
Good evening, Madam Chair, board members, Mr. Doherty. Thank you for allowing us to present the May finance reports. I want to speak to what Mr. Guthrie was talking about really quickly. As far as the state's budget, the last we heard out of Columbia was that the House was supposed to come back to meet on this Wednesday, and the Senate has not determined a time for them to come back yet. So even if they had a conference report on the 26th, the governor still has 5 days to look over everything, over the vetoes, before he finalizes the budget, which would be July 2nd. So pretty much we will not have a budget before June 30th. Y'all have already approved the budget for us so we can move forward. One thing that they had suggested was that we just make sure that everyone understands there could be a delay in timing from state dollars to get to us. But as we go over our finance reports, we'll see that it's a good thing we have a healthy fund balance, and so we'll be able to cover those expenditures. This is one of the reasons why we wanted to have that healthy fund balance, because you never know. So for our first finance report, we will look at the balance sheet as of the end of May. We do have some investments that we were able to save up some funding from last year and as well as this year. You can see on the May 2024 column that our total assets are higher than last year by almost $10 million. Our liabilities are right about the same, and then the fund balance, again, just to point out at the bottom, we have a net change in fund balance for this current year of $19 million. But let's talk about the next page is our revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance. So if you look at the top portion, our tax revenues, we've received 100% of what was budgeted. We're waiting to see if our fee and lieu will come in at the total amount that was budgeted. That's our one unknown for local property taxes. Investment earnings, we earned a lot more than we had anticipated, which is helpful in our growth of our fund balance. In the center section for state sources, we are expecting one more month of revenues in June. Some will come in July as well. Then for our total revenues through May of $244.9 million, whereas our expenditures through the end of May were $225.8 million. I will say that we have one more month of regular expenditures, and then in July, since we annualize the instructional teachers' salaries over a 12-month period, which goes from August when they come back until July 31st, we will accrue those July expenditures back to June. So the month of June could be double, which we'll look at the on our cash flow, where you will see those expenditures are doubled. For the month of June, I can't believe we are all the way to the very last month in blue, where we have 1 month left of this fiscal year. It's crazy. If you do look at that June column, what we're anticipating is for our expenditures to be almost double because of that accrual back in the month of July. But that will end us with, if you see for the total column as next to the FY24 column, that we anticipate that we will be $1 million in expenditures over revenues. But in the FY24 column, you'll see where the board had authorized where we could be $4.4 million use of fund balance, which we didn't really need to use because of the additional revenues that we had received. So that's very helpful. So as you can see, our fund balance, what we're projecting for the end of the year would be 63.9. The goal for the board for fund balance is an 18% fund balance. So for next year, 18% of our budget would be $51.8 million. We have anticipated using $4.6 million, say, of that 63.9, which still leaves us at $59 million. So that gives us our little buffer. So in case the monies are delayed coming from the state, we still have some room there. So those were all of the numbers I wanted to present to y'all for May and projected out through June, if you have any questions. All right.
Thank you, Mrs. Monet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now we'll go on to our facilities report. And you can kind of see here with our facilities kind of go up a little bit, just kind of go through this. You can see HVAC upgrades for Knightsville and Span. Our lighting upgrade is 95% complete at Span. The HVAC duct cleaning is complete at Span and Knightsville. The lighting upgrade is 85% complete at Knightsville. HVAC equipment has been delivered to Span and Knightsville. Installation of our HVAC and equipment of Knightsville is 10% complete. Projected completion is August 1st, 2024. We're hoping that this will be done and that'll be out of ESSER funds, yes. So we're cutting that close. But then partial roofing replacements at Gregg Middle School on the 100 and 700 wings, and then in Span. So Gregg Middle School was awarded to Keaton Roofing, and then Span was awarded to Palmetto State Roofing. And then notices proceed pending receipt of proper COI and performance bonds, and this is coming out of our 8% funds. And then moving on, our Fort Dorchester High School Media Center to CATE conversion. The Media Center demo is in progress. The reception demo is complete. The reception area on schedule to be completed before the start of school, which is great. And then the Media Center renovation scheduled for 10/8/2024. and that's coming out of our 8% funds. I know we've had some issues with our Fort Dorchester High School track replacement, so I'm really excited about this. That pre-bid meeting was held on the 1st of May, and then the final addendum sent out on the 6/18. So that bid closes on June 26th, and that's coming out of 8% money, and we're hoping that track will be completed this fall. So we're very, very excited with that. Sand Hill Elementary portable classrooms, those are supposed to be delivered here in late June, and that's coming out of our 8% funds. Sand Hill Elementary Wing Addition, we talked about that. The schematic design review with OSF was conducted on the 6th of May. Design team moving forward with design documents, and then geotech survey completed on 6/20. And then that report being submitted to engineers on the week of this week. So that's coming out of the referendum pot of money. So excited about that's moving on. And then we have several more projects that are going to take place. At the Community Learning Center renovation, sheetrock is being hung and finished. Duct work being reconfigured before the ceiling installation. And that's coming out of 8% funds, and it looks like that's supposed to be completed by end of July. So we're excited about that. No, that is a Community Learning Center. That's where RISE is currently right now. So the bus maintenance facility, that's at Oak Brook, working closely with transportation. Design documents are nearing completion. Survey will be completed this week, and that is coming out of our general fund. Oak Brook Middle School addition, design documents nearing completion. OSF design review complete. We're just awaiting construction documents to be submitted to OSF for final review this week. So that's coming out of the TIF funds at Oak Brook. So Oak Brook Elementary addition, design in progress for a 10,000-foot, 10-classroom addition, and that will be coming out of the Oak Brook TIF funds. And then our last one is the Greenway Boulevard. I know Mr. Souls has talked about this sidewalk that will be coming there to make it much more safe for our students to walk, especially when traffic's coming off of Greenway Boulevard. So that survey is complete, and then a plan review update and discussion will occur before issuing final drawings. So that is in the works there. And then elementary school at the Ponds, architects are updating drawings and code updates, and so that's in the process too. So that's what I have to report on our facilities at this time.
Mr. Doherty, did they move into the shared library? Like, did they move the media center into like the joint library now? Have they done that?
Yeah, they're in the process of doing that. I know we've got everything there, just trying to figure out getting keys to that facility, so that way we'll be ready to go the beginning of this school year. So I know Mr. Aldridge has been working with the city officials there to make sure we have keys, security codes, and so when we go into all that. So
Awesome, thank you.
you're welcome.
I'd just like to make a comment. It's to me, this is a breath of fresh air to see all of this work that's happening within our district. And it's all work that's been needed for such a long time. And I also like the idea that plainly looking at the superintendent's report and how everything is laid out, everyone can see, us as board members and community members can see that it not only took that referendum to get these things to happen, it took the TIF funds that we've worked on for several years and we've been saving for this time to happen, and it took our 8% money and even our general fund. So it's so nice to see these things happening and finally catching us up where we've been so far behind, or heading us in the direction to catch up where we've been so far behind, because we've still got a long ways to go. And I think that's important that everyone understands, that is that we've done without for so long in these areas, and it's going to take this, and it's going to take all this frugal spending that we've been doing all these years and saving this money to get this district to where it needs to be and where it should be for our kids. So thank you for all the work that you've done. I appreciate it, and this just really makes my heart happy to see this happening.
Well, there's a lot of people to thank. It's definitely a team and a collaboration, especially when you're looking at that three-pronged approach, when you're talking about referendum, 8% money, and TIF money to put it all together. There's a lot of people working in the back scenes, and Dr. Robbins and our facilities team and the city and the county have really worked well to try to provide these these funds for us, and also to make sure we get what we need to provide for our students. So thank you.
Any other questions, board members? Okay, thank you very much.
The next item on the superintendent's report is our student enrollment recommendations. So we're asking for board approval on that this evening, on item E for
Okay.
student enrollment recommendations.
And board members, those were uploaded into our packets. So if everyone has had an opportunity to look at that and is okay with doing that in open session, we can proceed, okay? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
All right, motion made by Mr. Guthrie, seconded by Ms. Crosby. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, we will call for the vote. Okay, motion carries, 6 in favor and 1 absent. And then we will move right into our personnel report, and that also was uploaded into our packets. At this time, if you were okay with doing it in open session, I would like to consider everything except the one specialist position that is included there. We will be convening into executive session for that one. So in regards to the classified and certified recommendations, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, motion made by Ms. Bates and seconded by Mr. Farnsworth. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, I will call for the vote on that.
You get Barbara?
I didn't get it.
And the motion carries, 6 in favor and 1 absent. Okay, and that concludes our superintendent's report. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, we will move to our public comments on and we have several this evening. The first is Brooks Moore.
Thank you very much. Members of the board, thank you for your service and the opportunity to speak tonight. I'm here tonight to place the name of Mr. Charles Studemeyer in consideration for having one of the new elementary schools named in his honor. Mr. Studemeyer has spent over 50 years in public education, serving the children of South Carolina. He serves as a teacher, assistant principal, and school board member. Time will not permit me to list all of Mr. Studemeyer's accolades. Just to name a few: PTA Principal of the Year, South Carolina Administrator of the Year, South Carolina Elementary Principal of the Year, National Distinguished Principal Award, member of DD2 School Board for 8 years, receiving more votes at large than any candidate that ever ran. Order of the Palmetto, highest award given to a citizen in the state of South Carolina. President of the South Carolina School Boards Association. His schools received during his tenure over $275,000 in state incentive money for outstanding academic achievement. In my humble opinion, Mr. Studemeyer's biggest accomplishment is his love for all children. He spent his career striving to see that every child under his tutelage reach their highest academic and social potential. Despite possessing only 20% of his vision, he lost his vision when he was 29 years old. He was a principal at that time. He has 20% of it now. During the latter years of his career, he battled Parkinson's disease. Mr. Studemeyer truly made a difference in the lives of his students, teachers, and parents. Who, may I ask, is more deserving to have a school named in their honor? I had the privilege of serving as a fellow principal with Charlie, and I consider him to be a principal's principal. We need more educators like Charlie. Your consideration of my recommendation is greatly appreciated. I think I messed up tonight because I told the teachers that were supposed to be here, I thought the meeting was at 7-ish. And I found out it wasn't. So you'll be hearing during some further meetings from some teachers under his tutelage, and I'm sure they will echo my sentiments. Again, thank you, and thank you for the progress you make every day and for the sacrifices you make serving our children. We have the best school district in the state of South Carolina. I think we never need to forget that. Thank you.
Brooks,
Thank you, Mr. Moore.
I'd like to thank you so much for presenting this on Charlie.
Thank you,
know
ma'am.
that Charlie, as a personal friend, I also know him as a person and as an educator. He's the one that got me up here where I am right now, so I don't know whether I need to thank him or...
He got me to DD too. I wouldn't
Yeah.
be here without
So I've
serving
been
my
here
career.
16 years, and Gail's been here 18 due to Charlie.
There you go.
And I just want to thank you, and I hope that people will support it.
Yes, ma'am. We'll have teachers coming and speaking and endorsing his efforts as a principal. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Moore. Okay, next we have Joanne Holliday.
Good evening, DD2 Board. Thank you. My name is Joanne Holliday. I'm a parent here in DD2. My daughter is now a senior officially. She made it official by scheduling her school pictures today, and it put me in a mood. But I'm here today to talk about the Fort Dorchester High School dance floor. My daughter has been in dance since she's entered into DD2. She was afforded to be classified or categorized as being an honors dance, and she takes it very seriously. During this past year, they had competition in about March, and during that time of practice, she injured herself in that dance room because of the floor. When we went to urgent care, the doctor was like, "Oh, you was here last year." Yes, because it was because of the right toe. Now it's the left foot. She had to have a boot on for 2 weeks. She missed the opportunity of doing her or presenting her dance as an honor student, her dance choreographed in that class. She got through that. But my concern is, I'm a parent that, I can't afford dance outside of school, so she earned it and earned her right. What I want to tell you about the dance floor is that it's cement. They are dancing on concrete. The only thing that is covering that floor is a Marley floor, which is vinyl. It is the proper top dance floor, but it is not the proper subfloor. She came from Austin Middle. They did their dance floor over. Can it be across the board? Because according to us, we have core values here, don't we? And it says students, children come first. I'm asking the board to take a look into, because I have exhausted. I reached out to the principal. I reached out to the district. I also reached out to the chief operating officer. They said, someone was coming to look at the floor. That's not sufficient for me anymore, because now my daughter has to decide as a senior to get out of honors dance, and that's not good. It's been an emotional toll on her. It has been a toll on me going back and forth to the doctor with her. And this cannot continue, not just for my child, but for other students coming up and the students that want to continue to dance in that room. So I'm addressing the board to take a look, because I don't know if y'all want to dance on cement, if anybody in here will want to be dancing on concrete every day. That's not good for your body. And we found out, you know, she had a sprain in her foot that took her out for the rest of the year because of that dance floor. What is she supposed to do coming this senior year? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Holliday. Okay, up next we have Christian Dubois. Dubois, is the S silent or not silent? You can correct me and say it correctly for me. I apologize.
You're the one with the doctorate. I'm just kidding. It's Du Bois.
Du Bois, I
Yeah.
apologize. Christian Du Bois, thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm a father of he just turned 8, actually, on June the 19th. And he goes to Beach Hill Elementary. So he's going to the 3rd grade. So what we decided was to put him in reading camp. They have reading camps at Newington, and there's another place they have them. So before reading camp started, his teacher called myself, and then I three-wayed his mother in, and we had a conversation, and you know, it was a great conversation. So I asked her, my son's birthday actually falls on June the 19th. So I asked her, I said, is June the 9th, and before looking at the school calendar, I asked her, was Juneteenth celebrated in the district? She said, oh, we don't have school that day. I'm not gonna say her name because I'm not here to out anyone. It could have been a common mistake. So my concern was, why isn't Juneteenth celebrated in the district? So I called the district. I called the district on June the 18th. I spoke to Miss Katie Barker. She said she was gonna relay this to someone. They would get back to me. I didn't get any calls back. I've called back 3 times last week. And so I said, I decided to come to the board meeting because I don't know the right procedure as it relates to either recognizing Juneteenth as a holiday. I know that we recognize Labor Day, and I understand that it is during the summer, but you have kids that are in summer camp that go to DD2. You have employees that work at DD2 schools that are African Americans that may want to be able to celebrate that day. I'm not trying to lobby for them, but for me personally, as an African American male, and I've been in my home in Somerville for over 23 years, I would like it to be recognized. I would like the district to recognize it. I mean, I don't know the correct procedures, I don't know the protocol, but I felt compelled to come here and at least bring it to your attention that it's important to a lot of people. We have a lot of kids that may not even understand the meaning of what Juneteenth is and take pride in what that could be for them and their families, their lineage, and there are certain kids that are actually indigenous to this country, and there's some of us were brought from another country. This country, as you all know, was built off the backs of free labor from African Americans, not just African Americans. There was Irish. I'm not just trying to single out, but I understand that this holiday is very important to a lot of my friends, a lot of my colleagues, and let's see, yeah, and I just want to know if someone can direct me. I've known Justin, I've known him for a while. Someone could just direct me to what is the correct procedure, and how do you guys set a schedule, and which holidays do you recognize? Because this is very important to the African American community. I thank you so much for listening to me today. And it's Du Bois, Christian Du Bois.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Du Bois. And just as a reminder to everyone, the board does not respond to any public comments, but we do have your contact information, and so questions that you have asked will be addressed by someone. We'll get back in touch with you in regards to those. So, but we just do not respond publicly in the meeting. So thank you. Okay, and that concludes our public comments. And at this time, we will convene into executive session in regards to a personnel matter. So if I have a motion.
So moved.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Guthrie, seconded by Ms. Hughes. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, I will call for the vote. Okay, and the motion carries 6 in favor and 1 absent. We are in executive session and we will return. Okay. At this time, I'll ask for a motion to return to open session.
So moved.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Guthrie, seconded by Ms. Hughes. Any discussion? Okay. Hearing none, please cast your vote. Okay, and the motion carries 6 in favor, 1 absent. We are in open session. Okay, at this time, do I have any other motions?
Madam Chair, I make a motion to accept the personal recommendation for the marketing and communication specialist as presented to us in executive session.
Okay, do I have a second? Second. Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Farnsworth, a second by Ms. Bates. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, we will call for the vote.
I forget we have to do that thing and close it out. Wanda, I have to have you do mine again.
You got another one, too.
Okay, and the motion carries 6 in favor and 1 absent. Okay, at this time, I would ask for a motion to adjourn. Motion made by Ms. Bates. Seconded by Ms. Crosby. Any discussion? Hearing none, please cast your vote.
I think Barbara said yes.
I closed out because I, never mind.
And the motion carries 6 in favor, 1 absent. We are adjourned. Thank you all. Have a great evening.